With us to review the morning papers are theologian Vicky Beeching and radio DJ Pat Sharp. Welcome back to you both. Now, you're starting with the inside of the Mail, page 5 here, this awful story that we've been covering, of course, our lead story. And that is the case of Asher King, who's in hospital, we believe, in Malaga at the moment. Parents under arrest, being held in police custody.
It's incredible. I won't rehash the details, seeming as we've been running it in so much detail, but I think it does raise questions about the kind of repercussions about parents and children and personal choices, and whether or not the authorities have been too heavy-handed here, because it's quite easy to see how any loving parent would want to take a child elsewhere for better care, and obviously now they've been arrested. The other interesting thing I think it raises is the impact of the internet and the ability for us now to go outside of the authority of our GP and specialist, because pre-internet they really would have been the I don't know, the buck would really stop with them. You know, their advice would have been kind of gospel. Yeah, but I think now that we can Google, I don't know about you, but if I get symptoms of some sort, I'm always on Googling and finding out the worst case scenario. So I do think it makes me wonder whether or not, now equipped with knowledge via Google, whether we're actually better off or whether we're just enough informed to be dangerous, because we're kind of walking away from the local doctors, GP specialists that are in our actual kind of
Didn't
vicinity.
you used to read the medical encyclopedia before Google?
No.
Well, I did.
Did you? That's very impressive.
I suppose it gives you options, though, doesn't it? If you feel that a lot of people in the past have felt that they don't understand what doctors are saying, they can speak in language which just isn't easily understandable to them, and opens up a different avenues possibly. Let's have a look at your choice of story next, Pat. And this is UKIP, the by-election, possibly in October. We haven't been given a date yet, but the latest polls suggest that the Tories are in for a bloodbath.
Well, yes, this is Douglas Carswell, who's moved across, and he's set to humiliate David Cameron. He's basically saying you'll be able to take a very long jump off a short pier at Clacton, because with a 44-point lead, I think what this actually leads to, with the word lead, is the fact that it'll be Ed Miliband's election to lose if the UKIP win this by-election, because it's just going to set a whole different stance on what goes on now and involve the Tories being, oh no, there's somebody else who's come in here, so it'll be his to lose. That's
but they face a threat, Labour, in other seats, don't they, by UKIP? It's not, you know, even if UKIP win this by-election in Clacton.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it just shows that there is another player in the game, and it will be Ed's to lose, is what I see.
OK, let's have a look at your next story, Vicky. This is inside the Telegraph, all about sunbeds and the dangers they pose. Is this new? Did we not know this before?
Well, it's one of those things that everybody seems to talk about, but people don't really take much notice of. And there is some new research that's going to be presented to the World Congress of Cancer in Edinburgh. And they're actually showing that if you use a sunbed weekly, it does increase your cancer risk by 90%. So it is really, really damaging. And they're saying it's not only if you burn, and that's what this new research offers, because a lot of sunbed shops will say to customers, well, it's okay as long as you don't burn. And they're now saying that it actually isn't true, that the cumulative effect of the UV rays, even if you don't ever burn, is now being proven to actually also cause cancer. So I just really hope that a lot of young people see this and realise that what they're doing is unnecessary, because there's so much pressure, isn't there, on young people to have different colour skin. You know, they want to look tan, they want to look golden, they want the kind of California look, and a lot of them don't really realise that they're really putting their life at risk. So I just hope this information can get out, maybe into schools or on billboards, and help young people make better choices.
Yeah, we also have this story about how children in Britain aren't getting enough sunlight and therefore not getting enough.
It's very ironic, isn't it? Very ironic. But I guess it's all about natural sunlight and
the right UV.
If anyone was going to want to go into a
sunlight.
tanning bed, it would be me, because I'm so pale that my friends say I could try out for Twilight for the vampire movie. But I'm too scared by things like that.
Right, Pat, you've been taking a look at this story inside the Times. Bottom of the page here, artificial microhumans may replace animals in the lab tests.
Well, there's 90 million animals, Samantha, each year that are used for lab tests. So they're basically creating a smaller sort of human that will be artificial, that will enable to take the place of some of these animals, and they'll be able to do tests on them. So there will be mini-me's.
Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very George Orwell, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. I just thought it was an incredible story, really. They'll be able to, have drugs admitted through the lungs, gut or skin of this artificial human being.
Wow. Quite frightening, isn't
I think
it?
that's
Just imagine rows and rows of these...
Like a farm.
But you can imagine that people who obviously, are pro-animals in any shape or form. I mean, if you just own a dog like I do, you'd be thinking, well, this is great. You know, a mouse or a rat won't have to be going through this.
It's a bit like The Matrix.
I know,
love that
that's
movie,
exactly
you
what
know,
I
with the
was
sort of
thinking,
people
when they're
lined up
lying
with
in
all the tubes coming
those
out.
tanks.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to take a short break. More papers coming up, including why people in Folkestone have been finding gold nuggets on the beach. Quite a treasure trove. Let's bring you more papers now. Vicky Beeching and Pat Sharp still with us. Welcome back. Now, we've got a story inside the Sunday Mirror, and this is about striking gold on the beach. Look at that beach. It's heaving with people. This is after an artist hid lots of gold bars in the sand in Folkestone, in the beach there, as part of an art project.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'm from Kent, and I'm glad to say that it was a family from Canterbury, which is my hometown, who were actually the first to find one of these gold bars. It was part of the Kent Towns Festival, and 30 bars were buried. They're 24-carat gold, and each one's worth £500.
Sounds lovely, but it's not really an arts project, is it?
I don't know.
It's a treasure hunt.
I think it's a treasure hunt to fill up the beach, get people down there. And the great thing is that to kind of thwart people that wanted to just show up with a metal detector, they also buried metal washers all across the beach, so it had to be digging.
Right.
So it's just encouraged people to kind of come out and I guess experience.
Who put up that money as well?
The thrill of a gold rush. But good old Canterbury people are the first people to have found a gold bar.
Now,
when I was a kid, golden nuggets was a cereal.
Now, a story to warm all our hearts, those who want to live into a ripe old age anyway, and this is about the oldest woman, probably, I imagine, in the world. Let me just find this, but this is a lady who is... Go on, tell us.
127. She's 127, that was 127, and she's basically celebrating her birthday today. And just have a think about when man landed on the moon. This is the interesting one now, because man landed on the moon. She was 82 years old when man landed on the moon. That was 1969. And
it's amazing,
she puts
isn't it?
You want to know what she puts it down to? If you want to live to being 127, it's all down to eating well, sleeping for days on end, and never getting married.
You know, it's not the first old person I've heard say that, actually.
But she hasn't passed that advice on to her children, because all 5 of her children have died.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Incredible, she's outlived them all. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
But she hasn't ruled out getting married yet, but just, you know.
You never know.
She's just thinking...
Next year, maybe. She's got time.
See how we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Never too old
Don't
to
want to rush into
Tylenol.
these things, do you?
Pat, Vicky, thank you very much for taking
you,
us
girls.
through the papers
Ladies.
today. Thank you.
All you girls.
Yes.
Tom, how's the sports headlines? Tom.